Hey guys, so I'm joined with my esteemed co-host Roxas. He's full of opinions. Just look at him. He's raring to go. Raring to go. He's like, Grandpa, I'm ready. I'm ready, Grandpa. I'm ready to share all my no, he's not. He's fine sleeping. It's a nice cool day. It's got a nice cool breeze coming in, so he doesn't care. He never cared. Anyway, BioWare community manager reveals Dragon Age the Veilguard will not feature any spider enemies, despite the fact that the franchise has had them pretty much in every installment. But let me guess. People who are afraid of spiders, now we gotta pander to them, right? Because of arachnophobia. And you can say, oh, well, some people have crippling fear of spiders. Well, why wasn't this done ages ago? A Dragon Age ago. Dragon Age has always had spiders. Every fantasy world has massive spiders. So why now all of a sudden are they? Oh well, we're not gonna add them. We know why, because once again they're trying to pander and cater to a certain group of people. A community manager for BioWare revealed that the upcoming Dragon Age Veilguard will not feature any spider enemies because they trigger some people. A blog post for Dragon Age Veilguard's accessibility options was shared to the official Dragon Age subreddit, and one user shared his desire for an arachnophobia filter. Zisk wrote, no mention of arachnophobia filter. No, I'm not an arachnophobe. I just want there to be one like in WoW that changes every spider in game to crabs. No. That sounds stupid. It sounds like that's a cover up. Because if you're in a dank house in the middle of the forest, why the hell would there be crabs? It makes no sense. What about wooded areas where there's webs? Crabs are not going to be making those. Which is also heavy in these fantasy worlds. The forest, you go into the forest and you see all these massive webs. You see the giant spiders come down from the trees. So what are these are tree crabs, the legendary elusive tree crabs that live deep in the forest, and they also can spin webs. Another added, I'm an arachnophobe, but I've found that playing games with spiders over the years help desensitize my initial fear of them somewhat. I still really hate them. I mean, most people hate spiders, but if you see a spider in game, you're not going to completely lose it. Normal people, at least. I still really hate them when they draw from the ceiling onto my face. I mean, I don't think anyone enjoys that unless you are intentionally putting a spider on your face. I mean, there's other ways to desensitize you to spiders. Go play with freaking jumping spiders. They're amazing. Those they're so curious, they're so smart, and they will, after a while, recognize you as, the person who takes care of them, and they will do things to let you know that they appreciate you. Despite the fact being this small, they're actually really, really, really smart. Um, But yeah, jumping spiders, best way to get over your arachnophobia, because they don't look like spiders. They're like little tiny puppies with 8 legs, but they have just two big eyes, like two big black eyes, and you can still see the other ones. But they just look at you with those little black. I mean, hang on. I mean, look at this thing. It's adorable. You can't even notice really the other eyes, but it's got the little hairs. It's got a little tan. It's constantly cleaning itself. I see them around here all the time. In fact, the other day, I was in the kitchen. I was coming in. I saw a black spot on the ceiling. I looked up. There's a little jumping spider. So I came in. I got a container. I don't like to hold them myself because I've got huge hands. I don't want to accidentally crush one. They're so sweet. So I came in, got a small container, and I'm like, okay, come on, little one. And I took him outside and I put him over there. There's like the fencing on the porch. I just went out and put them on the other side, and they just went on and went on their merry way. I don't like killing them because they're sweet. They take care of like flies and ants and roaches and stuff in areas. So they're sweet. But look at them. Look at it. It was like, and just the coloration on their fangs. Look at, we got emerald. We got, like the reddish orange right there. This, just look at them. They're adorable. I mean, if you want to get over spiders, this is the best way to do it. This is the best way to do it. And this is what they'll do. This looking up at you, that's what they do when they're curious. They're amazing little spiders. And if you're looking to get over arachnophobia, this is the way to go. Hands down, best way to go. Because yes, they are spiders. They have their 8 legs. They got their little pedipalps right there. They're constantly cleaning their nice long fangs. They've got their 8 eyes, but they're so cute. They're so cute, and they're harmless, and very curious, and they're playful, and they do like to bond once they get to know you, and they'll look up and like, you talking to me? Talking to me? They're also somewhat easy to keep an eye on because they'll jump onto you, and no matter where they go, they're leaving a nice little tether. So if they fall down, they'll fall down. You just see them hanging there because no matter where they go, they have that little string, little tether coming out. But yeah, if you have arachnophobia, these are the spiders to look at because they're freaking adorable. Look at that. Look at that. Anyway, just since we're talking about arachnophobia and spiders, I see them all the time around here, and they're absolutely adorable. And if I see them inside, again, I'm too big. I don't trust myself, especially with the fibro and all that, where my hands got spasms. I don't trust, like, oh yeah, I'm just gonna, oops. And my body tenses up, and I don't want, so I get them in a container, and I just put them outside. But, they're adorable. I love them. Still probably on the face. If I can see the spider enemy a few feet away, then it's easier to prepare. Yeah. But, again, a lot of the time they're meant to be scary. It's supposed to be scary. So being able to see them from 5 feet away in the game, that's one thing, but it's supposed to be scary. So them just dropping out of nowhere, since it would make sense. They're spiders. They're living, in treetops in these forests and stuff. So, yeah, they're not going to all just be seen. It's like, if remember, like in Harry Potter, when Harry and Ron went to see Aragog, and at first you just see them, somewhat around the area, just moving behind things while they're talking to Aragog. And then suddenly they look up, and just hundreds of them are just slowly coming down from the treetops. It's meant to be scary. So, I mean, I seriously doubt a forest infested with spiders with giant webs all over the place is meant to be a happy place. So, hopefully the spiders will be more stylized and not look like DAI's version. And I hated the monstrous variant. I mean, sometimes they go out of the way to make them look too much like the real thing, but that also depends on the game's style. Like, if it's set in a more realistic looking world, then having some goofy looking spider, it doesn't make sense. So it's kind of like, okay, how do we find a nice balance between realistic and kind of what you think in like a fantasy, where extra appendages, or it's got a human face, or like World of Warcraft does it fairly well. They're spiders, but they're very stylized. They look real enough to drop that. Almost knocked my thing off. They're realistic enough to remind you, hey, they're spiders, but they're not really scary. With the colors, like giant green spiders and big fluffy looking ones, and it's just Um, Same. I'm more or less fine now if they have big bodies, but anything with legs too long, and I'm afraid I'll involuntarily throw my controller at the screen. In response to these comments, associate community manager for BioWare and presumably Dragon Age Veilguard responded, "No arachnophobia mode because there's no spiders." It is unclear why BioWare chose to remove spiders from the game, and Violet did not provide an explanation why. Back in 2020, BioWare revealed concept art of a giant spider with hands that had been created for the game. Spiders are not the only thing removed from the game. Lead writer Patrick Weeks confirmed that players will also not be able to use blood magic. Weeks confirmed the heroes will not be able to use blood magic in in a series of posts on social media website Blue Sky. Heisenberg would be proud. User Cordelli Bird asked, "Hi, silly hypothetical DA franchise. Are player specs like Shapeshifter, Bard, Blood Mage unlikely to return to the series? I know they're not in DAV, but I also know they're probably too resource intensive anyway. Zither the Magic Bard in DAI was cool, and I HC Bard Hawk, thank you." Responded, "And never say never. Blood magic is unlikely because we've shifted it from a power boost to really being the key to a lot of nasty stuff that we aren't interested in having heroes do. The other stuff, it just needs the right game." Another user, we'll just read it from this. "This is interesting because that means Blood Mage, Warden, and or Hawks are really, really subdued Blood Mages, and that Solus was both right and wrong on it being not inherently evil and just a tool. I think it can be ethically neutral if you only use your own blood, but person only has so much blood to use. I'm just gonna offer myself. Wait a minute, why am I dying? This wasn't supposed to happen." But after seeing it used as a required part of mind control and demon binding in DA2 and DAI, it's just not a road we want the hero to walk down right now. Do you think we'll ever turn back to being allowed to do nasty stuff again? What I loved about Dragon Age Origins and 2 was that you were able to roleplay a complete asshole anti-hero. The good guy hero is such an overused trope. Hero is not a complete a-hole anti-hero, is not a single trope. We give you different ways to play Rook and Veilguard, but stuff we've set up as corrupting Red Lyrium, blood magic is mostly reserved for the villains this time for clear storytelling. Might be different in future games. I was wondering, does this apply only to Rook, or will there not be any more morally gray, sympathetic blood mages in the game? The series has given us several interesting blood mages, like Meryl and Joanne, among others, and I'd like to see more of those nuanced explorations in other characters. I was only talking about Rook. Um, yeah, the fact that they're taking out spiders, despite the fact that spiders were in every other series or installment, and now all of a sudden no spiders. It just, I mean, it looks goofy. How is anyone gonna look at this and be afraid of it? Even I understand it's untextured, but who's gonna look at this and be afraid of this? It's goofy looking. I mean, it's got human-like hands. I mean, I don't even know, like, are those its eyes? Like, is that eyes right there? And then it's got like this little goofy, like, nostril type thing going on for a nose. But it's silly looking. I'm guessing that's a barrel. So just for size comparison. But yeah, You're gonna have a fantasy world with no giant spiders, but you're keeping this goofy looking thing in. Hope they end up. I really hope they come out soon and kind of clear up why they decided not to add in giant spiders into the fantasy world. And you can't say, oh, it's an overused trope, because every fantasy world does it. It's kind of the whole, fantasy world. You think of things like orcs, or you think of elves, you think of giant freaking spiders. I mean, it comes along with the fantasy world. I mean, it wouldn't be a fantasy world if it just had little spiders running around. No, you need spiders that can eat you. You need to walk into the forest and the creepy, dark part of the forest where you see all these huge webs just strewn about, and spiders just slowly creeping down from the trees. And I don't mind them. Like I said, I don't like spiders, but if I see one in game, I'm not gonna. I'm not gonna like Markiplier myself and just like over the top screaming when it's not really that scary. You know? Anyway, what do you think about it? Let me know about your arachnophobia, and tell me why jumping spiders are just so darn cute. But also any kind of theories you might have about why they left them out. Theories about this game, a game theory, if you will. Thanks for watching. No, anyway, that's gonna do it for me. You guys know the drill. I'll see you guys later. Bye, guys.